this a little bit of time here to allow you guys all to come in. Oof. So happy, was it Monday? I'll be very honest. Time is an illusion for me, and days and stuff, and this even yesterday, and all of a sudden, I think it was last night, I'm thinking, is this Saturday? So that's what I thought it was. Ended up being Sunday. So part of the reason why I'm on here right now is that yesterday evening, early part of evening for me, my beautiful brother Todd was on live, and they were over at our beautiful sister's place, Cindy's house in Texas, there in Houston. And Izzy was there, met a couple new people that I had not had the privilege of connecting with until yesterday evening, so I've already connected with them. And then my beautiful friend, sister, Kate Lumley, appeared. I wanted to share this with you guys all. You have no idea what you guys all mean to me. And when I say this is for me to have others to see me as I am, to see the love that I am, the acceptance as I am. I cannot thank this amazing community. And you guys, you know, when I say that, you have no idea how much you've touched my heart and my soul. As I say that, yesterday, as I process things, even this morning, I've been sitting here just having music and just being for the last, since I got up at 8. And feeling so grateful for this amazing community. You know, I've really, honestly, have gone my entire life where a majority of the people never saw me. They never saw me for me. And I always thought that I had to change to fit in. My programming, my family dynamics growing up, you know, I call it act, say, and do, behave, and you'll be accepted and loved. But a lot of that was going against my inner grain. And I could say the word I struggled. The reason why I'm talking about this right now is I connected with this beautiful lady recently. She now has my music in her home. And I missed part of her emails. One part I saw it this morning and I read it, and man, could I ever resonate with her. And this is resonating about, you know, being in an environment as a child, never seen, heard, loved, or protected. You know, we were objects. I was an object. And just so you guys know, I'm originally from Prince Edward Island, PEI, which is the far, far east coast of Canada. even farther than Maine and like Bangor, Maine, and all that. It's east of that. If you look on the map, you'll find it. It's a little island just off Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. And I did what was expected of me, to find a man, get married, which I did. Because there was never anything spoken of about my own wants, needs, desires. It was always about others and their expectation of what I was going to be. And that's why I call it act, say, do, behave. And in November of 79, my younger brother got married out here on the West Coast. So myself and all my entire family, we flew from PEI to Victoria, BC, on Vancouver Island. And I was there for 2 weeks. And remember this, I was already married. And I was saying, oh, I miss Alan so much. Just saying the words, but did I feel that? Fuck, no, I didn't. And the truth was, and is, and always will be, is that I never missed him. But my inner self just felt guilty because, okay, something's not right here. Something's not right. I don't know what it is. But I know this much. I need to find out if I truly love Alan or not. And all I knew then was to move to Charlottetown wasn't far enough away. To go to Halifax wasn't far enough away. To go to Toronto wasn't far enough away. But my soul's desire was to be out here in the West Coast. So I struggled with this, and everybody could see me disappearing, including then my husband. And one day, and I have so much heartfelt gratitude for this lady. Her name is Nancy Guptill, the Guptill family in Summerside, PEI. And one day I was over visiting Nancy, and Nancy, just being her true, authentic, caring self, said to me, "What's wrong?" And at this point, I felt safe to speak my truth. And I said, "Nancy, to be honest, I don't know if I love Alan or not." Is it my sound? Is that better? I can do that. Hopefully you can hear me better now. And so I said just what I just said, that going here, there, I need to go out west. So I ended up, and Nancy said to me, it was so not refreshing, and that's why it's so dear in my heart. She said, "You do whatever you need to do for you. We'll look after Alan." And somebody actually gave me permission. It's not that I needed the permission, but I'm now speaking the truth. And so in February of 1980, I found somebody to come with me. I drove, me and Chris Smith, who we drove from PEI all the way across Canada to Calgary, Alberta in February of 1980. We went through, we left, it started to really snow badly, and we've here, let's just get to the other side, and because we had to go through a ferry then. Now they have the causeway, I think they call it, the bridge. There we go, the bridge, the Confederation Bridge now that links New Brunswick. Okay, let's see here. Am I still live? It's going to check this because it's twirling here, which indicates to me. Anyway, I'm just going to keep, okay. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm getting signals that I'm not really live right now, but I'm not really 100% sure. So I gotta, on my personal page, it's acting up. There I am. Okay, I am still live. Okay, sorry about that. And I'll never forget when I say this, the day that I left PEI. I just couldn't wait. As I drove up the driveway, saying goodbye to my husband, saying goodbye to my parents, and I think my brother, my younger brother was there. I think, I don't remember. But I just remember driving out the driveway feeling this lift. Oh, finally, like I could breathe. So went to Calgary, spent 6.5 years in Calgary. Then I finally came out to the coast here in October of 1986. Usually I don't remember dates. For some reason I'm able to remember those dates. And so the reason why I speak about this beautiful lady that I got this letter from, not letter, I'll rephrase that, email from, as I mentioned that I missed a part of her email that I didn't even see until this morning. And she spoke truth. And we all know when somebody speaks truth, they're trying to blow smoke up our ass. Okay? We all know that. We can feel it. We can sense it. We don't need to understand it. We don't need to know any more than just that. And I'm not going to go into many details about what I'm about to share here, but I'm going to talk about family dynamics. Because this friend of mine, in her email, she spoke about because she, for her own sanity, you could say, for her own self-respect, her own dignity, her own self-care, she wasn't able to go to her father's funeral because of her mother, which is verbally abusive and physically abusive. And it brought back some stuff for me, because I know that feeling. And about relatives not seeing us or hearing us or supporting us. It's not that we need their love or support, absolutely not. But most importantly, that I know for myself that my mom was dying of cancer. And we all knew it. And somebody was kind enough to buy me a ticket so I could go home to see my mom. And my mom is very, well, she was here on earth, she was very, dysfunctional. Always cared about her image, how other people saw her. Right? She put certain people on a pedestal just because they called themselves a Christian. Because they believe in God. Or they say they believe in God. They call themselves a Christian. You guys understand this, or a majority of you understand this. But, so I'm coming home now, and I said to my mom, look, I don't care who picks me up at the airport, as long as it's not your sister Doris. And Mom goes on, well, Doris is da-da-da-da-da. And I went, I don't care. I don't care who picks me up, but do not have her pick me up. And so now I'm coming home. I walk off the plane, coming into the airport, because you have to go down steps, because it's just a one-level airport. It's a small little airport. And I walked in, and the first people I see is my mom's sister, Doris, and her husband. And I just sunk and just pray that they won't do anything to me while we're driving to go see my mom. Well, I get into the car. Now, I'm going to clarify one part here is my parents, both dysfunctional in their own way. And what us kids endured as children was not good. And finally, my dad left, which I'm glad he did, because it stopped that chaotic chaos that we're constantly in. So everybody on the outside world thought, oh, Ivan and Sylvie have the perfect marriage. That's the facade. And so here we are many years later. Dad's already with somebody else. At this point, I just have to think for a second. He wasn't married yet to Audrey. He wasn't married yet to her. I don't think, but they were definitely living together. So one of my conversations with my mother is, I don't want to hear any of your stuff. I had set very clear boundaries. I hung up on her many times. Every time she'd come bashing my dad or his wife. Or, you know, I think they were common law then. And I said, I don't want to hear it. That's still my dad. Because what goes on between a wife and a husband is between them. But you don't involve your children in any way. So here now I'm skipping forward back into the story here. So got into Doris and Lee's car. And I was badgered. There's no other language around this. I was badgered by Doris. Don't do anything to upset your mother. And she was going on and on and on. And she's bringing up my dad. That has nothing to do with me. And I'm begging her, like, no word of lie. I never got angry. I was begging her to stop. Stop. Now I'm begging her husband, get your wife to stop. Please. I was badgered through the whole drive. It was, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes. I'm bawling. I am bawling. And by the time we got to Papa Steward's, which was my mom's boyfriend's place, I call him Papa Steward, we got there, and some of my mom's sisters are in town, some from out west here, some down the States and Toronto and stuff. And I get out of the car and I see Mom, and I'm crying. Everybody just assumed I was so, you know, messed up because of my mom. No, it had to do with Doris. And, you know, I couldn't tell anybody then. I couldn't. So I kept to myself, all of it. And this is I think it was January or February 91. Yeah, 91. I always think 90, but something come across my path that, oh, it's 91. But anyway, so, you know what, after being home a few days, I saw that absolutely nobody, none of her siblings, nobody was helping my mom. Nobody. So I decided to stay and look after my mom until she was gone. I have no regrets of that. And just before one of my brothers was coming home, Doris was out visiting Mom. And I had an opportunity because I'm going to protect my brothers. And by the way, this could be sensitive for some of you guys, so please, if it's too much, just walk away right now, please. I'm not saying this to trigger anybody. It's about my incredible strength of my true inner knowingness within myself that I was not conscious of then. I knew right from wrong, and not because of my parents, because of me. So the night before my brother came home, because I mentioned that Doris was out visiting my mom, and I said to Doris, "Oh, I'll see you out to your car." And she takes my arm like oh so lovingly, and we're walking towards her car. Once I got far enough away from my mom where she could not hear anything, and I just took my hand and went, "Get your fucking hands off of me." She went, "Oh!" And I chuckled. So, and I said to her, I said, "You're the most inconsiderate son of a bitch I've ever met. How dare you say anything to me about my father and my mother? That has nothing to do with me. What goes on between mom and dad is mom and dad's business. It's not mine. It's not yours. It's not anybody's." And she was just, oh my God, right? And so now she's just bashing me to everybody that I'm such an awful person. I was respecting myself and I was trying to protect my brothers because I wasn't going to have them experience what I experienced, being badgered about our father. So I went through a lot of stuff back home, and I couldn't wait. And when I say this with great love and respect, I couldn't wait till Mom was gone so I could leave because I wanted to go, but I couldn't because knowing that nobody was going to help my mom. And that. So I want to share this with you too. It's coming into my mind, into my field. My mom never saw me my entire life. She never saw me for me. And when my mom was, I could say on her deathbed, because it got to the point I couldn't look after her anymore. So she spent the last few weeks in the hospital. And I remember one night I was there. I was there for them because it was like a load off of me having her in the hospital because she could get the proper care that I couldn't give her. And this one day was just me and my mom. In her room, and I said, "Mom, I need to tell you something." She goes, "What?" So I told her what happened coming off the plane. My mom went, "What? She did?" And I said, "Yeah, she did." And I also told my mom what I called her. Because I was raised to respect your elders. Now I go, "Fuck you. You want my respect? Treat me with respect. I will give it back." But in that moment that I shared what happened, I could feel it in my mom. She actually saw me and heard me for the first time ever. She died a very angry, bitter woman about my father. Her resentment towards him was awful. Yeah. Then I want to share this with you guys right now because it's coming to me. The night my mom died, we're all around the bed. I've never been around anybody who's passed away before. I've had other relatives pass, grandparents and all that, but I was never near there. And so remember this beautiful nurse that was there, because I didn't know I could touch her. I didn't know what to do. Though I did want to touch her. And so when she took her last breath, I heard her say, and I could feel her say to me, "You done good. You did good." That meant the world to me. Yeah. I just turned down the volume. You didn't need to hear me blow my nose. So I've always held that part very dear inside me. And so when I got back out west here, and then in 1996, they found I had a tumor on the left side of my ovaries. Didn't know how big it was till they removed it. It was bigger than a football. And that was me manifesting within my body because I didn't know how to speak truth to myself. I think I could to a point, but I couldn't say it out loud. Didn't know how to honor me. So my body manifested that tumor. So I had a hysterectomy. And right after the hysterectomy, I say I lost myself. I wasn't losing myself, I was waking up. I just didn't know it. So, of course, I got caught up with the Western medical system because I hear people bashing, and I'm sorry, I have an issue with this. Every single one of us, we do the best we know how at that time. It's not the medical system, it's the whole fucking system is fucked. Because those medical doctors, they want to go help people. They go to university to learn how, the bodies and all this shit. Right? I think it's incredible. But here's the thing is this, all my doctor could see, I was emotionally distraught. So I give you medication. That's how they dealt with it. I did not have this kind of community in and around me. I did not know people in and around me that were off this to help me to understand what was truly happening for me. So, I got into counseling, by the way, as well. And that's how my music started, everybody. It was that journey. And I reached out, got the perfect counselor for me, and I thank Spirit for bringing, her name just went just like that. I'll come back. Bringing her to me because she was a perfect ideal person that she created a safe container for me to open up to myself, to my own feelings, my own emotions. I opened up so incredibly. I was there 2 to 3 years with her, working with her. And as I opened up to my own feelings and emotions, I would channel that energy through my guitar. There's a song on my first album called Pure Joy, Pure Love, Pure Everything. That's when I had a glimpse into who I really am. And that energy, and I just channeled that song. There's all these stories behind some of them, not all of them in the same way. And so after I was done counseling, the one thing I realized, first and foremost, that nobody knew what I went through. Nobody knew what I went through when I went home. What I went through as a child, a little infant, etc., young girl. So I did a letter. It was typed. I typed it. And it was about, I think, 15, 20 pages. In fact, when I moved in here, I stumbled across it, and I went, wow, I have not read it. I don't need to reread it. If I choose to, that's fine. But here's the part. I told everybody everything. This letter went to all my mom's siblings, my dad's only sibling, a couple of very special people, because nobody knew that I, as a child, am a survivor. It was my dad's father was one of my perpetrators, as well as my two brothers. And so I even spoke about the fact is because of all the traumas and everything that I endured as a child, I blocked. I'm a master at blocking shit out. Not anymore, but I'm saying that's how I survived. I blocked that fucking shit out. I remember even Farida, that's my counselor's name. Even when I was in with Farida, I said, look, I'm thinking about getting some hypnosis so I can remember. She said something to me, and when she said it, it resonated. Basically, in a nutshell, you don't need to remember. You know. Doesn't matter who it was, whatever. You don't, maybe, you're being protected. Because if you remember, it could be too much. I went, yeah, that makes sense. It resonated with me. So, yeah. So with this letter, I sent it out to everybody because this is the thing about gossip, you guys, or hearsay, or somebody, I could say perspective, but not truth. Because people will twist something around so it works for their best interest, but it's not truth. And I just spoke truth. I wasn't blaming anybody. I was just speaking truth, what I went through and how it is not okay. Because I didn't deserve that. Even as a child. It was the adults around me that was their responsibility to protect me. They failed from not doing their one and only job as being a parent, is to protect their child. And, when I sent that letter out, I sent it with love, with no expectation, none. I got one response. I think it went out to like 20 people, 20 plus people maybe. I can't remember, it was so long ago. And only one person responded. Which was my mom's brother, Delbert, Uncle Delbert, and his wife, Marjorie. They sent me a card and a letter. Not many words spoken, but what they spoke was priceless. They said, you will always have a home in our home. And my heart just thank you. Because I think some people saw what was going on, but they felt powerless as well. I get that. And when I say, I'm speaking about certain members of the family. And, yeah, I don't talk about this very often. It doesn't come up, but when I read this email this morning, and I responded back to this beautiful lady. Give me 2 seconds. Forgive me. So, I forgot where I was. I know I shared about my Aunt Mary Jane, Uncle Delbert, letting me know that I will always have a home in their home. Yeah, that touched me deeply. And it still does to this day. Because it was honesty and truthfulness on their part. And I felt that. And it wasn't because I was their niece, because they saw me for me. They read my truth. I could see the pain that was caused to me by others. And that was my first experience telling the truth. All of it, including my childhood abuse, to what I remember and recall. And I did name names, because I don't want to hold back anymore. And this morning when I was responding back to this beautiful lady in Texas, and I just said, yeah, I said, I so see you, I hear you, because I've been there. And that's how come we can relate to so many of us. Because we're coming, you could see, out of the closet to ourselves. But we're letting people in. And then this is where the full loop is here, you guys, is my experience around this amazing soul family. I have so much gratefulness because I always felt different from other people. I could not relate to their mentality. Couldn't. So I could say I never fit in. And these last 3 years, especially these last 3 years, being connected with Todd, Medina, and all these amazing people they're through, you know, is, and I say this with great love, you guys have helped me to embrace myself more. You all have, by your kind words. Could be as simple as a heart, or just your energy. I can feel that. And that's where, coming back to last night with Todd and all the amazing other beings that were there, and give me a sec. There we go. And going to Soulful Fest, to be around people, because I don't allow people in easily. And it was a couple days before I left to go to Soulful Fest that I realized that I hadn't done anything for myself in like 32 years. Part of it couldn't afford to, yes. But, you know, aside from the money side, you know, there's always a way if there's a will. I don't think I had a will. As I say that, my father passed away 5 years now. I think it's 5 years now. 2018. And as much as I wanted to go to his funeral, I wanted to go there to celebrate my dad. Couple things. No one offered. to help me to get there. No one asked me if I wanted to go. No communication whatsoever. That hurt. Because all know that even a gesture means all the world. Like, Ernie, I'd like to be able to help you, but I really can't. That's acknowledgement. That's a gesture. And the other side of that, yeah, I couldn't afford to go. But there's another side to this. It wasn't safe. It wasn't safe for me to be there. Because I have an older brother who's abusive, and I haven't talked to him since my mom died. And I have no intentions as much as I would hope he would change. But I still get glimpses. No, he hasn't changed. My younger brother, I don't talk to him either anymore. He's narcissistic, like the whole fucking family. Just, I don't want any part of that. So the safeness is me going home and not having any support again? No, I won't do that to myself ever again. And that's where, with this beautiful letter or email from this lady in Texas this morning, when I was reading this part, she couldn't go to her father's funeral because her mother, who's abusive, it wasn't safe for her. And that's the thing about us, as we grow and expand within ourselves, and we reflect back to really getting honest with ourselves about safety. That's where, we have compromised enough for the sake of others. We've done enough of that. No more. No more compromising. And going to Soulful Fest last year, it was like 32 years, something like that, since the last time I did anything for myself. And even then, it wasn't even for myself because I ended up staying for my mother. Then, so going to Soulful Fest, and I got a little nervous about going and being around people because I'm a hermit. I keep to myself. I like being by myself, to be quite honest. Some people think, well, you should get out and socialize. For those who can't see this, I'm sticking my finger up. Fuck you. And that's where other people, oh, you should get out more. You should do this, should do that. Should? No, I could, but I don't want to. People don't ask, they dictate to us. We should get out and do this. Right, and all that shit. But here's the thing, is this. We all have our stories. And I look back at myself, as I do with this lady, which I responded back to her, acknowledging how courageous she has been her entire life, because I have been, and I am courageous as well. For us to go through what we've gone through as children, as infants, into our early adolescence and so on and so forth, our whole lives, and trying to fit in here, fit in there, and we're going, where do we belong? Well, the thing is, we don't belong out there, we belong in here. You guys all have been very instrumental in me opening up more to myself and speaking my truth. And, with this email I got this morning, because I'm not even going to say the lady's name, because it's to me, it's sacred and special between her and me. But at the same time, I was guided and inspired to come on here and speak about this. Because think about it often. Like, of course, we all know that when somebody says something that activates that in us, and we go, "Oh yeah, I've been there." You know, and that's basically what happened this morning. But to, and when I say this, this came to me. I've met a lot of people in the last 3 years. I see my beautiful friend, sister, Roxanne. She's here, and I believe she's on my Facebook page, my personal page, because right now I'm going out to a few different places all at once here. And, you know, with, and so how to say this is, I met Roxanne 2.5, coming up towards 3 years now. Met a whole pile of people through Susanna Mara, and we had a weekly gathering called Language Lounge. Unfortunately, I think she was going to start it up again recently in the last couple of months, but her life changed again, which is fine. But that's where we had a weekly gathering, and that's how I met a lot of people, and then from there I connected with others. Just, it's like the spider web just keeps on evolving. And you know, in this community, Roxanne's one of the people. Her and I spoke a few times over the years, and that even the first time that her and I spoke, it was just, you know, I'm still treading, I could say, because being a part of this amazing community, like when I say this is, I cannot, the only time I can talk about stuff like this, if it's relevant in this moment, and I don't know why I'm being asked to do this, but I'm okay with doing this, is when we reflect, because I don't live in this stuff, you can just tell, I don't live in it. It's a part of me that's happened. I dealt with the best way I knew how. And I get to stand here before you all because my heart keeps on opening up more and more. First of all, to myself, then it's with you. It's like, it's a reflection on my music. How my music in the last 2.5 years, and when I say this is more so the last 1.5 years, 2 years. And when I say this is, because how those loopers started to come into place, like everything is always, we always get messages from Spirit. And it's us understanding the message that we're getting, because we're always getting guidance. But the thing is, we still have free will to do it or not. But if you really think about it, every time you go, no, I'm going to do it this way, something goes bad. Not bad in a bad way, but it just doesn't go smoothly. And that's why I honor myself now. I only go and do what I feel like doing in this moment. I don't know how I'm going to feel in an hour. I have no freaking idea. Right? I do things in the moment because it feels right. And for us, what we have gone through and figuring this thing out, you know, I'm sorry, my brain went elsewhere, is I started to talk about 2 years ago. Susanna Mara had approached me and asked me to channel her song for I believe it was going to be a podcast. I'm not really 100% sure, but she I think I have issues with my internet. That one's still going. Okay. Whoops. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, sorry about that. Let's carry on. Here's my feed. Oh, there we go. Oops, sorry. So, and I was very honored and flattered that Suzanne had asked me. So, I ended up figuring out how to sort of use GarageBand. And then through that, and I was listening back, and I ended up recording other songs as well. And I started playing back, and I went, ooh, that was nice. Ooh, because I never played with myself before. So all I knew is what I needed a tool that would allow me to record something, but it will keep on playing it. It's called a looper. I did not know that then. So I phoned up my Long McQuaid music store, and I said, look, I need a recording device that'll allow me to record something, but it'll keep on playing that again. Oh, you want a looper? He goes, he recommended this model, which I now have. I just got upgraded to the Mark II a week ago. And so I said, yeah. So I went and checked online. Yep, that was it. So I ordered it, and she didn't come in until June. And but I did rent a smaller unit, which was good for the next couple of months, because we were at the beginning of the virus thing. Sorry about that. And with this looper, because it was spirit guiding me, and it was like, it's amazing how it really works. If we think we're in fucking control, nope. But it's us to be open to the messages that come our way, or what's being spoken about, or what's being said. So this looper has opened me up. My music has shifted immensely. I've shifted, and I keep on expanding within myself, which keeps on coming out through my music. And when I say this is I'm very proud of myself as an independent person. First and foremost, independent person. I'm an independent recording artist. As some of you know, some of you guys don't know, I got 3 albums out. 3. Number 4 sitting there, number 5 sitting there. Just got a few little hurdles. And it's like, this is quite funny, because when I say this is, when I was thinking about a title for my album, I chuckled back then, right? I thought I was being really cool. Me, myself, and I. It was spirit that gave me that name. Because what you guys get to do is you guys get to hear, feel, sense, everything, me, myself, and I. Because this is all of me. My music is all of me. And it's like, when I mentioned about the first album, after that, I got messages through spirit, different ways, about taking a song, make it by itself. Because the lady wanted to use my psychologist in Ladysmith, wanted to use my music in her healing sessions. I said, anything to do with healing, I'm in. And that's where I went back in the studio, recorded this album, which is Instrumental Silence, which is on my first album, Me, Myself, and I, but now it's on album by itself for 55 minutes and 43 seconds long. That's me. That's what I did. Then in August of 2021, I went back in the studio again. I recorded my 3rd album, which is my 2nd meditation album. It's called Soulful Connection, same song from my first album, but it's on by itself for 53 minutes and 34 seconds long. While I was in there, he converted these that were recorded in 432, he put them into recorded in 440, now he put them in 432. So all my music now is all in 432. And I did this all on my own. Yeah, borrowed money, but I had to pay it back. You look at those cables, whoops, right there. There'll be more going up. All right, is everything that I do, everything that I am, is this, and this is what you guys all get to witness. because you guys are helping me to be me and to show up as I am, like going to Soul G Fest. Like I already mentioned, all that it's like to be there because I was scared. But there's a part of me that knew I was safe. And I just didn't know how safe I was. But I got to move around there and nobody invaded my space. People come sit beside me, and, people join and everyone's talking, and sometimes I just got up and left. But they go, "Are you okay?" No. They just let me move wherever I need to be. Because I'm a very quiet person. You may think because I'm speaking about this, no, I'm telling you something. Something that needs to be expressed, and I hope by me being so vulnerable that it will assist and help you to know that you're not alone. We all have our stories. And when I say this, they're stories. That's all they are now. They're stories. There's things that touched our hearts deeply. There's things that hurt our heart deeply. But I'm not attached to that. I haven't been for years. Doesn't mean it doesn't come up. When I speak about certain things, like talking about my Aunt Margie and Uncle Albert, you're damn right. But that's heartfelt. What it meant to my heart, to my soul. And I keep on choosing people now that people, how do I say this? And I don't mean this, I hope it comes across in the manner that it so deserves. That wherever it was is gone now. We're not alone. Oh, I know what I was talking about, the stories. I don't keep on talking about these stories. But right now, it was pertinent that I come and share this for the one time that I will speak of it. I can never say I'm never going to talk about this again. Heck, I can't say that. But it's not a part of my life anymore. It's something that had happened. But because I'm able to put things into clear perspective, clearer to clear perspective, and me working on me, myself and I, day in and day out. And I wouldn't trade one moment off this work that I do. And I'm sure you guys feel the same about whatever, and the work I'm speaking of is understanding ourselves. It's like if I get reactive to something, it's a trigger. But there's one thing that triggers the shit out of me is let me find the word, narcissistic, pathological liars. And I'm dealing with one where I live, the caretaker here. Like, it's just like, no. And yeah, because he will lie to protect himself. He does not know how to speak truth. Am I responsible for that? Nope. But be damned if you're going to project this shit onto me. And I will stand up. And I've been doing that. But he is fucking scared of me. This guy is abusive towards especially women, belittling us, treating us like we're a piece of shit. No, and that's one thing if I have a choice to leave here, meaning move, or stay, I'm not going to move. Why should I have to move because of his behavior and conduct and his lack of respect for others? And it's that old boys club mentality. Hey, you kiss my ass, I'll kiss your ass. I don't kiss anybody's ass. He's got a job to do, and I expect him to do it, because that's his job. But, these people, and what I'm finding just when I say this is that I've been wanting to come off these meds that I've been on. Some of you guys know this, some of you don't. but you're about to find out. I've been caught up in this Western medical system for many years, and I have no begrudges because it got me to here. Because I don't know if I would be here right now without that aid at that time. And I've been wanting to come off these for the last couple of years. Every time I tried, it's not been good. Then on October 21st, Spirit said, it's time. And fuck, it's been incredible. I'm not saying you have to come off any of your meds. Good God, no. Right? That there's a place for everything. There's, but if you're getting clear guidance as much as you want to, wanting to is one thing. Are you ready is another. And I'm so grateful for the people that I reached out for support. And I call them the Three Amigos. They put something in place to help me as I come down to counteract the balance within my body. And I have so much heartfelt gratitude for those three people. I didn't even know they could do that. I just reached out to them to be part of my support team, that if I got in trouble or needed help, or that they could be there for me. But that's what they did. And this coming off these meds, it's me looking after me. I've had to distance myself from some people, and that's not that I wanted to, but I had to for my own sake, because I cannot be around people who, for example, comment about, oh, do you know what a Swiffer is? What the fuck? Yeah, and that was a blatant way of saying, you could dust a little bit. And there wasn't even hardly any dust, but it was just, I can't have that kind of thoughts being projected onto me, right? And with everything that I go through, I look after me first. My house comes second. I come first. And with coming off these meds, I've been in this doing my best every single day to get through every single day. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying being conscientious. Allowing my thoughts to come in, move through. If somebody needs to process, I'll process that, figure it out. And I feel very blessed by this incredible home, because this is the perfect, ideal spot for me. I have nobody above me. I have nobody below me. And I only got one person on the other side of that wall. That's it. This complex is very unique. They got 11 or 12 buildings, and each building has 8 units, 4 in front, 4 in back. Yeah. And I'm in the front side. Yeah. It's peaceful. And yeah, it's ideal for me. Which allows me to, if I want to sit here, and when I say this, because you guys don't see what my feet do when I'm playing, because I have no control. My body just does its own thing, and sometimes my feet are just going in, and I'm hitting the floor hard. And can you imagine if somebody was living below me? I just got concrete underneath me, and the ground, earth, Gaia, supporting me. Like I said, I'm very proud of myself as an independent recording artist who's taken this journey that I've been on to go back to myself. And I say the word go back when I'm going to clarify this, because I've always been that. But I built walls and barriers to protect the core of who I am, so I could survive all these dysfunctional bullshit, drama, chaos stuff. And so my walls are pretty huge. But being in counseling with Farida all those years helped me to open up to myself. And that was the most important thing. And we have to be, when I say this, with great love and respect. We have to be careful about who we allow in. When I say this, when people see you for who you are, embrace that. If people don't see you and hear you and love you for you, maybe you need to create some distance. To my case, no more. I don't want anything to do with my biological family. I haven't talked to anybody in years. There's only one cousin, or actually a couple of cousins, to be quite honest. There's a couple. But my cousin Amy in Charlottetown, PEI, she was there. Going back to my mom, I want to talk about this briefly. When I went home, I never brought a guitar because I was going to be there for 2 weeks. Ended up staying. And my mom's boyfriend, Papa Stewart, had a guitar there, and I was thankful for that because my time was at nighttime when Mom goes to bed. And so that my mom's song was channeled while I was in my mom's house. And even Amy didn't even know what happened to me. And it was, I remember this much, and I believe it was just days before my mom crossed. And I went to Amy's and her husband then that night. And I let them in because I knew Amy knows what doors is like. And I told her. And I played, her then husband had a guitar, so I played my mom's song, and they both said, "You gotta play that for your mom." I said, "They're not gonna let me," because then I didn't realize how much control I had. I just didn't know. I felt powerless. Yeah, because I was the child, I had more authority than my aunt, her sister, did. But you know how that, it was part of my life back then. And I said, "Amy, they're not gonna let me." She said, "No, you're gonna play it, and I'm gonna be there." Amy did. The next morning, we went to the hospital, and some of the other sisters were there. I think Doris was there too, I believe. And they tried to prevent me from playing my mom's song to her so she could hear it. And she booted them out of the room. And I did want one of my mom's sisters there, which I always had great heartfelt care and love for, which is Aunt Millie. It's from Worcester, Massachusetts. I asked her to be in the room because I wanted her to hear it. Not knowing she was already caught up in all the bullshit of her sister Doris. So I was already labeled. But more importantly, that I got to share my mom's song to her. She was not conscious then. Yeah. That felt good. Yeah. 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 The things that we've all endured. And I'm so grateful for my cousin Amy for that and so much more. And that's the thing about people. We need to really look at what we're compromising ourselves for the sake of any sort of friendship or relationship with somebody. A friendship and a relationship is a two-way street. If you're dealing with somebody who's not on the same frequency, I could say, as you, there's this. It's a lopsided. We're always constantly growing and expanding as we uncover and understand more. But here's the thing is this. It's not who's better or worse. It's not about that. But it's about really paying attention and go within yourself, because you're the only one who can truly answer this. I know what I can answer for me. Why would I be around my older brother who is abusive? Like, he's a mind fucker. There's no other word for him. He's a mind fucker. And now he's gone all religious, and it's like just blowing smoke up somebody's ass, because he doesn't know how to operate from his heart. He's so shut off from it. He doesn't even know it. I hope one day he does. Same thing with my younger brother. But here's the thing is this, even though we're siblings, doesn't mean we have to compromise ourselves to be around those people. Friends, relatives, acquaintances, etc. You know, I want to be, it's like going to Soulful Fest, to be around all these amazing people, and I felt safe. And if I didn't feel like talking, I could just go and nobody would question me. That is respect. That is respect. This things, if you feel that, well, I should, take the word should and say, you know what, I could, but do I really want to? The word could empowers you. You have a choice. You have free will. A should is a have to. Oh, it's my, relative, or it's my mom, or it's my dad, or it's my cousin, or this poor guy, he's struggling in life and he needs me. If somebody else is struggling, it's their struggle. It's not your struggle to be a part of that. Because when we do that, we compromise ourselves to try to help somebody. I love helping people. And I've gone to the level of, like even here, we're dealing with the same thing, is a narcissistic abuser who's gotten away with stuff. It's like, I remember my younger brother said to me years ago, when I left PEI in 1980, February 1980, driving across Canada, all the way to Calgary, Alberta, and I'm not sure when he said it. I think I was out here on the coast then, but he said to me, you need to stop running away from your problems. I never felt that inside. He didn't ask. Didn't I have a conversation about it? He was telling me, like as if he knew better than I did. Here's the one thing that I know. I never ran from fuck all, but not good places for me to be. And when I ended up on a 5-acre ranch for 8.5 years, that is where I did my work. That's when my journey started, was there. It was a safe space and place for me to be with no judgment, no nothing. Yeah, and that's the thing. If our minds can drag us down and beat ourselves up. Don't do that to yourself, please. I look at myself and how far I've come, and I have a long ways to go. I'll rephrase that. I have a ways to go yet. But that's an everyday job of me waking up and honoring myself from what I need, what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. I honor myself each and every day. And I've allowed some people in the spiritual community in to my life a bit more. And I've learned, okay, some people, as much as they call themselves spiritual people, blah, blah, blah. We're all so human. Our dysfunctional selves. I just can't, when I say this, is I'll put it this way, is I've had to distance myself from people in this community because I matter. And they may not understand this, but that's okay. They don't need to understand. But they need to respect my boundaries. When I say I can't talk, I'm not talking to people. When I say this, because I got nothing to talk about. It's like, okay, you want to talk about little. Can't do it. I can't. Come on here right now. Is there something that needs to be expressed? That's why I'm here. Just because I need to express something to you all in hopes that it can resonate with somebody, can maybe help somebody, I have no idea. I just know coming on here speaking my truth and some of my experiences, that in hopes that it can help and assist somebody else. Because this letter, this, not letter, I keep on saying letter, but the email from this beautiful lady in Texas, I mean, when I saw this part that I missed, and I don't know why I missed it, but I did. And when I saw that, so I responded back to her, and it was long responding back to her, right? Because I wanted her to know how much I could see her, I could feel her, I know what you're going through. But I'm also proud of her as she is of herself, as I am of myself. And that's where we don't need to talk about these stories. If it comes up, there's all kinds of details I could go through, but the details really don't matter. It's a generalized thing that I'm so grateful for myself for, there's times when I become more of the hermit where I'm not speaking. Right now I'm in a good space where, okay, I did it yesterday too. I don't know what the hell I talked about yesterday, but whatever it was relevant and it needed to be spoken. And, and I'm going to mispronounce your name. If I do, I am so friggin' sorry. Shayna. Anyway, she knows. I was going to say it's a Hannah, but I know it's not a Hannah. I think I heard them pronounce it last night. I met her at Soul Fest. Her and I had already connected prior, and it took me it took me a while to realize who she was, because all I have is Facebook land. You guys all get to see me, right? But a lot of people, like, I'm friends with them in different groups and all this stuff, but I never seen her physically. And I knew when I looked at her, you're familiar. And yeah, I you can just tell it was amazing, because I'm not going to go into the story, but it was a beautiful experience, because she was one of the first people that I met immediately when I accidentally drove to the top of the mountain without realizing we were actually at the stage when I realized we're at the stage. Like, honest to God, it was pitch black. And there was a bunch of people right in front of the stage talking. And I started honking my horn, because a lot of people knew what the struggles I went through for the last 24 hours to get there. And Delia was the first person, or Dahlia, sorry. Dahlia was the first person, because I recognized her, because I've been connected with her for 2 years. And Zahana, I know there's a way to say it, but I'll work on that. Zana, okay, sorry, I know I'm not massacring, but I know I'm not pronouncing it correctly. And I just started honking the horn because I was so fucking excited. And as I pulled up, and somebody, and I believe it was Dahlia that said it, watch out for the cars, or not cars, but the seats, because I could see the seats because they were white, right? And pull over and gave Dahlia a hug right away. Zana was right there. I gave her a hug. was a few other people, and it was just magical to connect with these people on a physical level versus virtually. Yeah. She just wrote here, I'll just read you because I'm on a few different platforms. She said, yes, the honking and the sheer joy when you jumped out of the car. It was. I was just, yeah, Hung was there. That's right. Yes, yes. And I think Robert Evans was there as well, I believe. I know there's about 4 or 5 people. But any of us that were there, nobody invaded anybody's space. There was this incredible respectfulness, kindness, authentic, genuine kindness. And that experience being there, I think we were there 5 days. The festival was 3, but I think we were there 5-6 days in total. Just being around so much love. Not who's right, who's wrong. Just pure love. That entire festival has had a huge impact and imprint on me, my life, and me showing up here now. You guys have, I've always known that my music is special. I've had some people who have said to me in the past, and you should put words to that. Why do you fucking need words? My beautiful brother, Keith Hill, at Soulful Fest, I met him there as well. And he was telling me about, he's got this song, but he's got no lyrics for it. I said, you really don't need lyrics, necessarily. It was a food for thought for him, because we think music has to be lyrical. I don't hear lyrics, you guys. Usually I don't. Usually. Can't say never. And through you guys, being at Soulful Fest, some people knew somewhat of my music, but they got to hear it in person. And I remember this lady's from Nashville. I remember that much. Joan, that's her name, Joan Hurt. Hurt or Hurst? I'm not quite sure, but anyway, Joan. And she was in the audience when I was playing it. She made a comment, and there's something that I'm going to be changing on my website, you guys, just so you know. If you want to know my website, it's soulfulguitarist.com. Can't beat that. Anyway, so she wrote this a couple times. She expressed this a couple different times since I've been back here. Just what my music did for her. And your guys' reflections, because I know my music's special, I know that, but it's not about that. It's that you guys get it. I have never heard anybody say to me in this beautiful, amazing community I'm a part of, well, you should put lyrics, or have you considered? Well, here's the truth. I believe that if it's going to be meant to be, it will be. And when I say this, going back to Mr. Keith Hill, I played a song that just started a couple months ago, and Keith, about a week ago, heard it when I was playing it. It was over a week ago now. And that song just spoke to him. And so him and I are collabing. Yeah, he's already sort of started putting lyrics to it. He was on his iPhone, he has me playing that song, and he starts just singing this melody and words to it. And it just made me beam because, and I went, wow. And I said, I'm honored, I'm flattered, which I am. So he's going to be working on that. I'm going to do up a proper recording for him, and then let him do his thing. And that's the thing about connecting with this amazing community. I'm going full circle again. Last night, with Todd and Kate Lumley, Cindy Faulkner, I can't quite remember the last name clearly. Izzy was there, Todd's daughter. There's 4 of the people I'd never met before, but 2 of the people I got to know last night because they were on. And it's the feeling, and I'm going to talk specifically about Kate Lumley. She said to me at Soulful Fest, and I didn't even know what it was. She goes, oh, I'd love to have you part of the Utopia thing. I said, absolutely. She was shocked that I said just that freely, yeah. And I'm starting to get the picture of what this is going to be. And I have a couple of things I have to do this week because sometimes I'll go, the word holy smokes, that's going to be my character in this Utopia that Kate Lumley's working on. So you can be hearing my voice say, holy smokes, my enthusiastic way. Also a song. I don't know which one yet, but I have to record this and send these off to Kate. I'm recording this other song for Keith's so he can work on when he has time. And I believe that's going to be part of Utopia as well. I don't know, because that's, I'm just very honored and flattered that I've been asked and they want to include me. My admiration and my love and my respect for Kate is immense. Immense. And there's some things that I can feel in energy. I'm not going to speak about it yet publicly, but I can feel energetically wise. There's going to be much more magic happening. Yeah. So you guys, thank you for hanging out with me this entire time, if not partway through or later. I've been going for almost an hour and 30 minutes, but I'm just speaking truth and go wherever I was being guided. I still haven't got my looper set up yet. I went to work at it yesterday, and my gut went, so I had to stop. So I'm missing, I'm missing not playing, and I hope, hey, Viola on here, she's on my main page here, Viola Fogarty. Viola and I went to high school together. Yeah, she found me a few years ago, or maybe we found each other. I think it was 2017? I think it was 2017. I did, 27 lives that year. I did it every Friday night, or pretty well every Friday night, except for half of the year. Yeah, so we did every Friday night. So I feel like I'm going to be coming home soon, Viola, and I can't wait to reconnect with you physically there when I do come home. Because I do, when I say this, if you haven't listened to the first part of this, you'll have to go back and listen. I haven't been back to PEI for 32 years. Even then, it wasn't even going home. It was going to look after my mother as she died of cancer. And then I left immediately after. So that was not me coming home to be home. So I haven't been home since then. So I've been saying this for a few years now, but I can feel it getting closer now that I am going to be coming home maybe this summer. If not this summer, could be. It's going to be soon. I'll put it that way. I'll be driving. Yeah, for the West Coast. And I also want to be doing some concerts. You guys, wherever you guys are at throughout North America, I'm looking to start networking to come into people's areas to do concerts. I'm going to be doing this as independent, so the only way I can make this possible is with your help, love, and support. And that just means spreading the word. And if you're interested, and when I say the word house concert, now a house concert is actually in somebody's home where they bring in 20, 30, 40 people. Okay. I'm great with that as well. But I would like to have like I would pay for this, rent a nice little venue, not too expensive, to support the community, and then do a concert. So I want to set up a route as I go. I know I'm definitely going to be going down to Florence, Oregon. Also, there's another town in Oregon. There's going to be one or two places in Oregon I'm going to be playing, and I might even try to head up at Mount Shasta. I've never been there, but I'd like to do a concert up there. And then just sort of follow down, and there's some people I know that live in Colorado I want to reach out to, but I'm starting to step into this part and start the networking side of things. I can't do this alone. So I'm planning traveling throughout North America, sharing my heartfelt music, because I know and this is the thing, you guys get to listen to me online, it's beautiful. But to experience me in person, it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. And I can't wait. Yes. So, blessings, everybody. Wow. If I'm so moved, I will come on here and speak and share my heart. But normally it's just the music is what you guys will normally hear. But there's lots of different parts of me. And I thank you for being in my life and in my world. I really do. Because we can't do none of this stuff by ourselves. And I want to say to you, you're not alone. Right? You're not alone. I posted something earlier that about depression. We get depressed because we know what we want to say, but we don't know how to say it to ourselves or honor ourselves within ourselves. But I think it's time. I know for me what I've been doing over the years. And I'm very selective now, even more so. And I like my space. I like my home. I love my home, actually. And I love what I'm creating. I'm manifesting all of this, creating this. Anyway, I'm just sort of looking at here. I know I'm going to say her name wrong again, but she understands that I'm not doing that intentionally. Shaka? Once I start to there's a connection. But anyway, thank you, beautiful sister, and anybody else. When I say this, Melissa, hello, beautiful sister. And I'm just sort of scrolling up some of these. Roxanne, I spoke about Miss Roxanne. Aw, my goodness. Oh my goodness. Some of these, and just so you guys know, some of these, if you're not on my personal page, I don't see your name, just so you guys know. I just see Facebook user. So, wow. Anyway, everybody. Hey, and Kimberly. Oh, you guys, there's a Kimberly Brighton, I think it is. She was on here a bit ago, which might still be here, I'm not sure. Where are you at, Kimberly? There we are. Yeah, Kimberly Brighton. That she has a horse healing ranch in Sedona. I can't wait to come to her ranch. And yeah, I can't wait to meet her personally, but mainly meet her horses. And yeah. Anyway, I'm going to say love you dearly. And if I get my looper somewhat set up today, I'll be on here to share some music because I'm anxious to start playing again. It's been a week, no playing. Me bad. No, me not bad. Me go good. Me so good. Anyway, love you all. Okay, see you guys soon.